this is your first time touring here in Europe?
Yes.
Is it right?
Mm-hmm.
How were the tours so far?
It's been terrific. I didn't try to put any expectations on it, but any that I did have been surpassed. I heard that the hospitality at the clubs was nicer than the U.S., but I think that was an understatement. You know, it's just crazy. We get treated so well, and I could get used to it. I'm gonna try not to because I spend most of my time in the States. You know, where we will get, you know, a case of beer and that's it. And good luck with food. You know, so but having these dinners that are just incredible, like home cooked dining. I'm eating better now than I do at home. So that's pretty good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So did you know anything about Austria before you came here? Did you even hear the name?
No, I can't say I knew a whole lot. Our Schwarzenegger's from here, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that shows you how much I know.
Okay.
Big fan of Predator.
Cool. So where did you have the best beer on the tour so far?
Best beer. Geez, you know, I really don't know. I've had some wacky beers. They're always different, but the names are so foreign to me that they don't stick. I mean, I can think of what labels looked like, but I don't. I didn't pronounce it. I drank it.
Okay. Cool. So did you know any like horror stories from other musicians about Europe?
No, I mean, I think musicians that have toured U.S. and in Europe fairly universally say that you'll have a better time in Europe. I mean, not to say that, you know, we have a blast, you know, playing shows wherever it is, but it's a little more organized over here. You know, even for shows the size of shows we're playing, you know, we're playing fairly small clubs, and yet it's very well-oiled machine, you know, where in the States sometimes you don't know what you're going to get, you know. You play a small club, you don't know if the promoter's going to be drunk or what, you know what I mean?
So you signed with Relapse Records in
Yes.
the autumn of last year. Mm-hmm. How did you get in contact with the label?
Well, I think it was a combination of Chris Funk, who produced our record. I think he kept harangued them for us, as did our manager. And it also helped that they recently opened a new office in Portland, so we'd run into them socially. So I think it was a combination of those three things. My understanding is that they heard the record and passed on it the first time, so it took a lot of like, come on guys, you know. So I'm really glad they did, because they're really, like I say, see them around at the bars and stuff, and they're just really laid back guys, you know. That, you know, we signed a contract with them. And, you know, it took a while to get the contract to where everyone was happy. But, you know, Matt from Relapse was like, you know, the contract is pretty much something we sign and we put in a drawer and we never look at it again. And that's pretty much how it's been. It's just like, you know, we all want the record to do well and get out there. And everybody seems to be doing the best they can. You know, it's not like haven't had to bring a lawyer into it yet. You know what I mean? It's been very pleasant. Yeah. Cool. Matter of fact, this is Matt and a partner of his opened a pizza shop in Portland. It's called Sizzle Pie. Cool. If you go to Portland, it's delicious. I don't know. It's not likely that you'll be in Portland anytime soon.
Well, who knows?
Yeah, you never know.
Okay, you already mentioned it. Murder the Mountains, your debut record, was produced by Chris Funk and mixed by Vance Powell, I think.
That's true. It's not our first album. It's our second album. The first one on Relapse. We have our previous album on Sargent House, which was released 2 years ago. But yes, this is our first one on Relapse, and it's awesome. What did you want to know about it?
No big deal. I just wanted to know how you got those guys to produce your record and mix it and stuff.
I think before we had even planned on we of course planned on recording a record, but we didn't have material and weren't even ready to book time at a studio or anything. And I think Chris sent us an email, said, I'm trying to get more into producing now, I'd be interested in producing you. And I don't think he'd even seen us live. I think he just heard our CD or something. And we got that email, we're like, that's crazy, you know, because the Decemberists are, you know, a very accomplished band, and but not at all in the vein of music that we do. So it just seemed really ridiculous. So we just kind of, I don't even know if we responded to him for a while, but I think he was persistent. And finally we got to where we had a meeting with him, And it turned out he's very knowledgeable about hard rock, and obviously has done, worked in really amazing recording situations. So, and he was just great. We decided to go with it, and he was just instrumental in organizing, getting studio space, and even helping us with if we're getting stumped on a song, say like, I don't know, what is it, you like this chorus or this chorus? He would chime in. It's not as though he created ideas, but he helped us weed through our ideas. So he was very instrumental throughout. And Vance Powell was directly because of Chris Funk, who I had worked with him before, or was friendly with him anyway. He got us a screaming deal because we were paying for the record on our own dime. There was no way in the world we could afford that guy. He's a Grammy Award winner. It was like ridiculous. Some scrappy punk, heavy rock band from Portland. There's no way. But Vance agreed to do it, and I thought he did a great job.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Apparently he mixed on a board. He said, I wish I could mixed you on the $1 million board. But I guess someone's using it now. We're gonna have to use the $500,000 board. Like, dang, if only we had the $1 million board,
Next record, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
So which bands would you cite as your main influence for the band?
I always get this, and I don't know. I guess Black Sabbath, was probably the first hard rock bands. I think still to this day, probably the most influential album on me is Fair Warning by Van Halen. I think that's a really, really well done record. It's really dark, and just sounds great. And I think all the songs are catchy without being like poppy. They're just they're dark and memorable. And so I still listen to that record all the time. It probably drive people crazy. I play it all the time.
Yeah, that's cool. So Whitey McConaughey produced the video for the song Prehistoric Dog.
Yes.
Did you have a concept in mind or something?
He had the concept in mind. So
he came up with the Lord of the Rings and Monty Python.
Exactly. Stuff. Yes. Well, I think Tolkien came up with Lord of the Rings, and Monty Python came with Monty Python. But he put all those elements together in a pretty darn funny way. I mean, he told us that idea, and we were just laughing our asses off. And they're like, if this could be half as good as what you're telling us, it's going to be great. And it was better. So I'm really impressed, and I can say that without being egomaniac, because I really didn't have anything to do with it other than drink beer on cue, and it's like, all right, what do you want me to do now? Because I'm certainly not an actor,
Yeah. But it worked out great, so.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
So I saw on your Facebook page that someone of you posted a picture of 2 lost teeth.
Yes.
Do you know what happened there?
I'm not sure. That's our tour manager in the States. He also the one who does the blog. He writes the blog. He couldn't be with us, so he decided to write about his teeth. I didn't read the blog. I'm interested to know what happened. I'm thinking they were wisdom teeth.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't think it was a violent thing. I think it was a necessary thing.
Fight or something.
Yeah, maybe cavities. I don't know. I'll have to find out. Terrible friend, but my phone doesn't work, so.
Yeah. Okay. So you will be opening the Jägermeister stage this year's Mayhem Fest, and they're those huge bands like Disturbed, Godsmack, Megadeth. Are you nervous yet, or?
No, honestly. We played this Jägermeister stage about 3 weeks ago. It was at another festival called Rock on the Range. It's in Columbus, Ohio. They have it every year. And it was the exact stage. It was just an 18-wheeler, the bed of an 18-wheeler truck. The side opens up, turns into a stage. So we got to, I was a little nervous about that. I didn't know how it would be. I've never played a festival that size, but it was similar, 20,000 some people. But we're out in the parking lot, so it's not like we're looking at this sea of people. Although it was, when we played that, it was good. I would say, over 1,000 people watching us. First thing in the morning, if anything, that made me worry a lot less about Mayhem, because I got to experience it. I physically played the stage before.
So that was like your warm-up show here.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And I guess I was a little nervous. What I think I'm most nervous about for Mayhem is the fact that we're playing at 2 o'clock in the afternoon in July and August in some of the hottest places in America. It's going to be unbelievable. I'm trying to come up with outfits that are make it so we can survive. I mean, I was singing, and this was in, when we just Rock on the Range was in May, and it was a beautiful, probably 85-degree day with a breeze. And I would sing my parts, and as soon as I would be done singing, I would step back to get in the shade because it was brutal, Because not only you get the sun on you, but you've got lamps on you, which I don't know the point of, because you can't see those lamps in the day. You can't see anything other than the sunlight, So maybe they'll say, just kill the lights so we don't get roasted. I just came with that idea. It's a great idea. Turn off the lights. That's what I'm gonna do.
Gonna play without lights.
Yeah.
Right. The last question is going to be, what bands are you personally looking forward to seeing on the Mayhem Fest?
I guess the band I'm most interested to see is Megadeth, because I've never seen them play, and I really was a fan of some of their early records when I was in high school. So that'll be cool. And then I have to say that I'm not very familiar with most of the other bands on the tour, but it'll be a great musical education, because I know that this festival is not like a radio rock thing or like a pop festival. It's a metal fest. So I'm assuming there's gonna be something about the bands that I'm gonna enjoy. Maybe not. I won't maybe like all of them. Probably won't. But I'm sure there's one or two that are gonna stick out, and I'll be excited. So you'll have to ask me when I'm done.
Okay. Next interview then.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
Thank you so much, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.